All right. I'm doing this, I think, a little bit later than I intended. I was going to do it at 12, but I ended up catching up with someone I hadn't spoken to in a little bit. So it got delayed by an hour, but it is what it is. I'm just closing out some tabs. I know that people, ironically enough, complain about, well, not people, there was a person who complained about this before. I can't believe he closes out stuff and makes noises on his computer when his stream starts and no one's there to watch the noises being made anyway unless they see the replay. That's really crazy. I am glad I finally did the top 10 Piccolo fights video because that was something I had wanted to do for months. Again, I had a specific order I was going in, and the week before I had promised it was going to come out, and I just didn't, at the time, didn't get over the writer's block. But I'm glad it's out. I liked the editing. I usually have a favorable opinion of my editing. The audio was decent. It's just, a video I liked all around. And I'm glad that we'll be concluding it with the top 10 Krillin fights. I do wish it had more views, but I mean, hey, you could say that about every video on this website. Now, the reason the stream has that title is because they were talking about the election on CNN and some other outlets, and they were mentioning how Trump is doing all of these rallies. And we've talked about how he'll do these rallies where sometimes people aren't wearing masks or a lot of people aren't wearing masks. And I used the term plot armor, which is a literary element where it's to describe when there's a story where it makes sense for a major character or the main character to befall some kind of fate that's not good, but because of their role in the story won't allow them to suffer the same normal circumstances. So if I wrote a story where I said, if you go outside, you'll be put in a coma, and I have the narrator of the story go outside, but instead of being put in a coma, he gets like a cold or a headache um, without wearing any type of armor, basically gets this different result from everybody else despite doing what everyone else is doing. He has plot armor because he's supposed to be put in a coma as according to the rules of my story. But because I need him to narrate the story, I've decided I'm not going to take the time to create a conceivable way for him to not be affected by the same things that other people are being affected by. I'm just going to write it off. So that's why it's titled that, because he literally goes out not wearing a mask and just is always able to escape. It never catches the virus month after, or rather, he did catch it, and then he recovers very quickly, and all these other people are sitting in bed for months and in worst cases dying. And you even have a little bit of plot armor for Trump on Twitter where I've had people, and again, this isn't against Twitter personally, but just social media. I've had people on social media say I should die, threaten me. And none of these websites have ever tried to delete any of it or told, gone to any lengths to get rid of it. But because people are admittedly being nasty on Twitter to Trump and saying they hope he dies from a disease, now we're finally taking a stance against online harassment of people. Again, plot armor. If it happens to me or anybody else, it's okay. But if you're an elected official, you get protected. And thank you, Ruben. I appreciate that. I was actually going to do a video on Cenk this week because when he was covering the Barrett confirmation, when he did his 30-minute stream, there was a part of it that really upset me, where he was trash talking Collins again. Now, Ruben, you're a progressive, or you're someone that at least is nominally on their side. Can you explain to me what this is about progressives where they will get upset if you don't vote the way they want, and then if you do the things they want, they still get upset with you. I'd like an explanation on that because he got upset with her for voting against this lady, which he wanted her to do, but then he finds a way to like rationalize it as being something that was done for an election, which I thought the whole point of politicians was if they don't vote the way you want, you pressure them to vote the way you want or you vote them out. I'm actually fine with Barrett being on the court. I don't see why people are criticizing Democrats in this regard. Well, listen, I don't think she's any worse than anybody else Trump would have picked. I think she's as good as it would have gotten for a Trump nominee for the Supreme Court. So it's really weird to see these people. And McConnell did a speech about this. He did a 40. It was like a 40-year stretch where all the judges between John Paul Stevens up until now, all the conservative ones, so John Roberts, Breyer, the rest of them, all of them were gone after by these different liberal groups who said this person's going to take away your right to, you know, to choose, and they're going to turn the clock back on healthcare. They've been saying the same things about all of these conservative picks for years, for decades, actually. No, I was gonna do that video too, but again, whenever I have to edit the clips, it gets a little irritating. Dio has plot armor. Establishment liberals are really pushing the worst fear mongering talking points about Barrett being Catholic. If I was still demonetized, I would play the Halloween 2 theme, but I don't want to get, in trouble over that. The fast ones like so I'll leave that to when I watch it later. Worst is how stupid their arguments are. Well, that's why I was getting annoyed with Packman, because he does these videos where he talks about how the lower courts are more important than the Supreme Court due to the fact that most cases go before the lower courts, which Trump has stacked up with judges. But then because we're in this election year, oh my God, the next person Trump nominates to the Supreme Court is like totally going to change everything. Just they're talking out of both sides of their mouths, basically, or their neck. Trump actually improved my healthcare just by removing the individual mandated alone. Well, that's the elephant in the room nobody wants to address, that criticizing the ACA because it gets attacked by Republicans in like dumb ways so commonly is almost like sacrilege. Like, you can't talk about the high premiums or deductibles, the copays, those are things that are all valid critiques of the system that program brought in. But because Republicans go after it for stupid stuff like this is the beginning of the socialist takeover of healthcare, you can't really go in on it like you should be able to. Which is really a shame because uh, no policy should be above critique. But again, because you live in the let's defend everything Obama did era, that ends up being the case with a lot of people. Yeah, it's just been a really weird week. You're in about all these campaign rallies. You have all these people voting early. I'm being told of how there's no enthusiasm for the candidates, but then people are having supposedly record levels of turnout. It's all just a nice non sequitur of random things being said with no evidence. These elections are just getting weirder and weirder. Like in Georgia, The special Senate election has two Republicans. And let me tell you how stupid Collins is. That's the representative from Georgia, not the senator from Maine. This man is upset that Trump didn't appoint him to be senator. So his way of getting revenge is to run against the Republican who's already in there, Loeffler, and then to split the vote so that the Democrat can win. The right wing is embracing ultra turbo establishment liberal and world leader Emmanuel Macron and French establishment liberals as a whole over what they're saying about Muslims. They think Macron and French liberals are criticizing wokeness. And Dio says, I was told proof is in the pudding. Just don't let Boo find out. Well, which Boo? The first one we saw, I guess was that innocent or good Boo or super Boo or kid Boo or evil Boo, that gray one. There's a lot of Boos. I still can't go over the fact they literally didn't have Boo in a single film until Battle of Gods. That's nuts. And then the current arc of the manga, which I'll review when apparently it's going to wrap up next month. It starts off with Boo getting kidnapped, and then by the halfway point, or by not even the halfway point, by I'd say 45% of the way into the arc, he's not even like in it anymore. Just more Goku and Vegeta over and over again. Dio says he didn't see my top 10 Piccolo fights video. Oh well, I don't know what happened. I didn't block you from seeing it, so I don't know how you didn't see it. Red flags should be that French liberals are only talking about uh was it Islam and Islamic culture does not tolerate wokeness either. Yeah, Islamic culture is really set in its ways, like between not allowing Muslim women to let men they're not related to see their hair, and then you have to be the couple has to have both members be Muslim. Just all kind of stuff. I think is kind of ridiculous. And I think, and I don't want to get into a religious debate, but I'm a Catholic, and there are multiple things about Catholicism that are stupid. So all of these religions have little dumb things they believe in. Theo says, "What? LOL. I want an arc where Goku and Vegeta die in the first 2 seconds." Well, I actually did toy with doing a Dragon Ball show where I like tried to copy the art style, and they alternate between not being in it and being in it, but just not that much. Like they're anything but the center focus because it's based on the idea of there's a lot you can do with the universe of Dragon Ball, but because they're so like strapped to the genitalia of two characters, they don't want to move or ever get anywhere with the story at all that doesn't involve the two of them being in the center at all times. So it played with that idea. Did I miss anything that Ruben wrote? I'll believe French liberals are genuine, will support them if they ban open society and all of its outlets and think tanks. No, think tanks are here to stay. Those things are going to be around forever. You have to have some group of people giving their opinion about issues, all congregating together. Oh, Ruben on Twitter. I finally saw somebody else because I know the other people were calling Warren Lizard Warren, but I didn't see it directly. I finally saw somebody else call her that because Sanders posted it was like some group town hall, virtual town hall meeting with him and the squad and um, Waters, that fiend from a district in my state. And Warren was on there, and this guy responded by putting up a picture of like Warren with the the snake tongue with the little dent in it. I don't mention him. He's the boogeyman for all the conservatives. Every time that I see these not actual conservative people, but like on Fox News, CNN is funded by George Soros. MSNBC is funded by George Soros. Bernie Sanders is funded by George Soros. Andrew Yang was funded by George Soros. My channel is funded by George Soros. Everyone that says something they don't agree with has these coins being slipped into their back pocket. They really made this man like his name is a dirty word. Well, that's what made it all the more jarring that she did as badly as she ended up doing. I mean, she had financial support, she had media support. It was just crazy. They really, I've never seen a candidate who had all these things. Her and Harris had a lot in common in terms of their placement in the race because they both had town halls given to them by CNN. Uh, they had, public support. You had people that were going to get pictures taken with them and whatnot. They both just really dropped the ball. Harris more so than Warren. See, again, Warren has a little bit of like the people are more convinced that she's genuine than I guess 90% of the Democrats. So that's what stopped her from being a serious contender for Biden's VP. Along with the fact that, as I mentioned before, their whole thing with Harris is they want to be able to call you sexist and racist when you criticize her. So there's a little bit more disingenuous ways they can attack you for levying any criticism at their candidate. The right wing turned discussions about Soros ridiculous, but Soros and Open Society are legitimately both malevolent and dangerous, especially for left leaning people. Well, didn't we discuss that? How left wing, I guess, what's a good way of saying it? Like how the Democratic Party is more dangerous for progressives than the Republicans because regular Democrats, the ones that vote in the primaries and vote for the candidates, they know instinctively to not like Republicans, but they a lot of times just see a D or an R by someone's name and like assign it to if a candidate is good or not. So in the same way, how a lot of Democrats will write off Fox News if CNN or MSNBC starts saying stupid stuff, they're able to like justify it or not think it's bad. Yeah, James, that's why I didn't respond. I was like, what? Hey, at least he's not spreading the gospel of Samuel. So it's an improvement over last week. He just took, instead of going to my comment section, he took out an ad in the paper. Thank you. I told you I never thought I'd see the day where I can go to my grave knowing that men are more interested in my appearance than women. That's nuts. I've been watching you for a while, and I've been noticing your what do they call clothes? Apparel or whatever. He's like, I am monitoring your wardrobe. Well, Democrats are indirectly pushing the supposed Civil War II with their fear mongering about a coup and suspending elections. Yeah, they've been making a lot of assumptions about what Trump will do in the event that he loses. And a lot of it is wishful thinking because there's never been an instance before where you've had a candidate that lost and then decided that no, I'm not going to leave the White House, but I'm supposed to believe this man is going to be the first one in 200 years to do that. I've seen that person before. Oh, you know what? He's one of those. So I talked about this last week. There's a contingent of people, just really strange, who I encountered at some school I went to years ago, and then they just randomly looked me up and they're like, I've got to see what he's doing. No, that's who that is. But again, the biggest issue with them is the fact that I guess because they encountered me in real life, they're apparently thinking they have special privileges in my chat or something. That's such a strange thing. Ruben, imagine if me and you went to school together 5 years ago, and then uh randomly out of nowhere, I'm like, hello. Okay, well, if I was being so rude or whatever, why are you here? I mean, you apparently like butts. If you're saying that that was my behavior uh, the last time you were here, that incentivized you to return. He has a picture of Dimitri. We know how people are. They always got to create some name online. Well, I would assume your boredom is not going to override you being supposedly treated in a rude manner. So if you feel as if you've been disrespected, you can leave. Yeah, James, who would want to talk to someone or watch someone that they said had treated them poorly? That's like me getting slapped by somebody and going, "Oh, I got to talk to them. I got to go meet them in person again." Well, I wouldn't say no life because I just don't understand it. I had a guy disrespect me in July. I watched him for a year. Since he did that, I haven't been back on his channel at all. So I don't get this thing about wanting to watch or be affiliated with someone that apparently treats you poorly or that you say treated you poorly. I don't even remember interacting with them. Ruben says, I have no idea what is happening right now in the stream. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that occurs on here. Norman Lear created Open Society. Norman Lear also created the Archie Bunker TV character and several old TV shows, including Different Strokes. Trying to give us a history lesson. I was actually going to do a whole video about how people will hear of like a show or a movie and then not know who directed it, not know who created it. And now it's kind of disappointing because if you really like something, why would you not want to know who's responsible for it being made? People online that crazy. People in general do all kind of stuff I don't really get. Hey James, if you thought someone disrespected you, uh, y'all doing the same I'm doing sitting in a live stream. Uh, I mean, again, they're sitting in the stream with you, but they're not saying that the person they're watching disrespected them. So if they're doing what you're doing, but they don't believe that person has treated them poorly, why else, how is it the same? Hey James, what did I tell you? Uh, Men online will be the first one to pay attention to your appearance. They'll spend more time monitoring the way I look than a woman. Oh, great. Now he's going to come back in like 5 minutes and ask the same thing again. Different strokes to show that Todd Bridges, Dana Plato, and Gary Coleman started. I remember Coleman. Yeah, he died, was that 2010? I was like 12. James, I'm gonna come to your channel. Oh, you don't do videos or you're on camera. I'm gonna admonish what your attire is, and think of how much of a prick you have to be to focus on that, because I've explained before. If I record a series of videos that I put up over the week in the span of a couple of hours on one day of the week, so I don't have to keep doing a different video every single day. Why the hell would I put on 5 or 6 different shirts to give off the appearance that these are being filmed on different days? Think of how nuts that is. Her son that she had while she was underage and the show was still in production died as well. Jesus. Yeah, 99 was I would say a kind of chaotic year with celebrity deaths. We had JFK Jr. Um, the one you just mentioned. It wasn't really that good if you were a famous person. Hell, and then not even just deaths. We had the impeachment scandal. I think I might make some videos. We'll make sure that the camera is like tilted up here so no men can observe your attire. It's like I've been paying attention to your torso. I tell you the craziest thing about that is the main ones who do that I've never seen before. Like they literally just come to be weird. But James, think of how dumb that would be. I'm supposed to put on a bunch of different shirts as I'm filming multiple videos on one day to make them feel better. Really? And then with this one, you were treated so poorly, but then you still show up. You're overthinking it. I joined the stream and I noticed that you wearing this shirt when I last watched one of your videos. I'm not overthinking anything. I'm going off of the comments that were written to me and responding to them. I noticed what you had on. All 3 of the actors made or implied serious allegations about physical and sexual abuse or work on the show for over a dozen years before Epstein getting arrested. It's really disturbing it took that long to catch him. Just when you hear about all the little nasty things he was doing. Well, a lot of people can notice a trend. You can notice something without saying anything. I could notice that you've had the same avatar for a year, but I don't have to say that I noticed that. So you're telling me I can't blame people for what they say, that they're not responsible for the things that come out of their mouth? Yeah, he wants to have the shirt debate. And again, this is with someone that he says treated him poorly last time he was here. Can't tell me what I did to him. I just treated him poorly, whatever that means. It wasn't poor enough for him to not come back. That's been very evident from this dialogue. Yeah, Dio, I'm sorry. I know you want to talk about DB, but we have to have the new shirt scandal. Hey, James, you've seen Bader before in my comment section. He said I have like the weirdest chat. Like you could do a whole nuanced discussion and you'll have someone ask the same questions over and over. Yeah, I mean, like I don't do this when I watch videos of people talking. I don't go and say, "Did he wear this in that video? Did he wear that in that video?" Yeah, I'm gonna have to give a resignation speech from behind like a desk where I tout all of my accomplishments. James, you have the power. You can do that. I would do that too. I'm just trying to see if we can actually get something resembling a teeny bit of sense from this person here. Because I'd really like to know how poorly he was treated, and if he was treated so poorly, why would he return? I meant that prior to Epstein's arrest, allegations about Epstein-related activities in the media were being told for decades. Industry were ridiculed and mocked. Oh, so people, whenever they would come out about Epstein, would get made fun of and told that they were lying. All right, I understand. Also, if you can hear that, I apologize. Well, I apologize to 6 out of the 7 of you because one of you is the person who's saying they were treated so poorly. So my favorite thing about the internet is that you get accused of something like every second. Okay, but you're not explaining how it's the same thing. You you made me you spoke to me in a mean way. What did I say? You spoke to me in a mean way. Well, can you tell us what happened? Can you give some recounting of what happened? Yeah, he won't even say it. And again, if I was any other streamer, I would have just blocked him already. In the media industry, but were ridiculed. I messed up my typing. That's fine, Ruben. You're far from the person who's messed up the most today. After some of the strange exchanges we've had on here, just in the last 30 minutes. Forget about the shirts. Let's talk about something else. Oh, Ruben. I'm always down to discuss something else. Me and Dio were talking about Dragon Ball. I was responding to what you were saying about the, I guess, French propagandist, if I'm using the plural term for that. So it's really only these guys that get caught up in this trivial, irrelevant BS. You think the shirt scandal is one of 2020's biggest issues as we have a virus that's killed 200,000 people, ravaging your country. All right. I draw, I write, I do a lot of things. I want to talk about these weirdos. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can discuss with them. That was the good point of having the messages they would write saved in my email because you could just screenshot it and do a video. Like, look at what this clown said last year. Viruses can't replicate without shirts. No, it was happening at the beach too when people weren't wearing shirts. Because they had a story of some people that went out for spring break and they were getting it as well. Yeah, this isn't an art gallery. I'm not about to put up a bunch of illustrations out of nowhere. Hey, James, remember the one guy who was like, you need to get some other hobbies besides doing videos about chicks? It's like, what? That's crazy. No, it's really nuts too. Remember, supposedly if you learn how to build a model kit, some magic woman will pop up out of the ground and be interested in you. I listen. I guarantee you, James, you could ask every single man you've ever known that's been either married or in a relationship or had a kid with somebody. None of them are going to say some woman threw themselves at him because he knew how to make a model kit. Like the stuff they write in my comment section belongs in one of those. You remember those parody movies like Scary Movie? Like some kind of spoof of what advice would be. Yeah, okay, sure. You know he doesn't believe that. It's like if you say so, artist. How do I know? Kyle Kalinske enraged a bunch of Democrats for yelling at Biden about wanting Trump to be more antagonistic to North Korea. Well, you have a lot of Democrats that are, they've fallen hook, line, and sinker into this propaganda of North Korea being this very dangerous place that is just constantly trying to screw with us when we're the ones who harass them more than anybody else. It's them and Iran that we probably have done the most to trick people of them being evil. James, what did I tell you that that's all they discuss? That's their main area of contention. But we moved on to other topics. Yeah, seriously, if they're such experts on how to do this, why don't they make videos? It's not like I have some secret software that only 100 people have access to. James, imagine if you and I were discussing, I don't know, CNN, for 10 minutes, and then we spend the next 40 talking about Fox, and then somebody comes and goes, hey, let's talk about CNN again. Like, we're talking about Fox. Well, you brought up CNN. Yeah, 40 minutes ago. I didn't watch and want to know how that turned out. And he still won't tell me what I did to him. You were being mean to me. What did I do? You were mean to me. Can you explain what happened? You were mean to me. Just nothing. I'm gonna levy this allegation, but not tell you what you did. I must have it, Taco Bell. Jesus. Like if I had a nickel for every time somebody came in my comment section claiming to be the great prophet of how to get with the broad, I could buy a yacht. And again, if they're such experts, why don't they do what I do? Make a video on it. Oh yes, now we're gonna hear about markets. How is it a saturated market? I hope you're not saying I really hope you're not saying saturated because it's Saturday. You're taking the actual calendar day and sticking some different letters at the end of it. I hope you're actually saying something that you can explain to those of us who don't get what you're talking about or need some clarification. Any new interesting shows? Super is abysmal. The last chapter of the manga was decent. It wasn't as bad as the one before that. And you gotta understand, ever since COVID started, just everywhere, production for most forms of entertainment are kind of not here. Like this year was actually the first one in 11 where we didn't get a new MCU film because they kept pushing back Black Widow and the rest of them into next year. So entertainment's not really up to its usual standards. I'd be scared of career suicide. Uh, okay, if a virus causes actors to not be able to work around each other, to where I can actually prove there have been multiple productions that have been halted, multiple finished films that have been delayed, it is true. Animation doesn't require people to be next to each other, making physical contact and in close working conditions. The only place they have that in is Japan, where they work people to the sweat of their brow. And even there, they stop production on multiple shows. I'm telling you, he just wants to be contrarian. Let me read what Taco Bell was writing. I was reading that before the other thing was spam there. I'd be scared of career suicide. Like image recognition is a way to advance now to make a video and not be revealed later on. Why does she need fixed Clara? I don't know who that is. Ruben says, I can't believe every time I say that, I'm just gonna say Hispanics because every time I use that word, people get mad. Like Dragon Ball that much that the super garbage is able to continue airing to this day and even for a long time from now. No, that's not what you said. You said that my comment, which I can validate with multiple articles detailing the delaying of various products of entertainment, whether it be released works or things that are in production, was incorrect. You said not true. Your comment is literally like it hasn't even been a whole page. We can go and look at it. It's right there. I just want him to explain how he was treated poorly. Because it's been about what 20 minutes and there's still been no explanation. Like what did we do? He's like, I'm gonna correct your terminology. I said you were this. I didn't say I was treated poorly. I said you were being a meanie. It's like, okay, but what did we do? I hope that if I ever work in the animation industry, my Saturday won't be, I don't know, I don't even know what you call this, sitting in someone's stream that apparently disrespected me. Because I don't watch people who've spoken negatively about me. Hell no, no. It's already obnoxious enough to read what they type, let alone voice to voice. Because I've seen that happen before where they'll type something crazy, and then when you get them over the phone, they start backpedaling. Well, I didn't mean to say this. It gets too ridiculous. If I was to have anyone that's on my channel on a stream, it would be James or Ruben, or maybe Dio. Like the person who keeps accusing me of stuff wouldn't be in the top 100 of people on this site. I would do a StreamYard with. Hell, I wouldn't even do one of those with my brother, and that's only because I didn't want him to get harassed like I do, and also because YouTube has a thing about having videos with kids in them. Yeah, I don't debate. If you have a question, I'll answer it. But this whole back and forth thing, I'm good. Also, Dudley, we're gonna give you 14 minutes to say what I did that was supposedly so mean. And if you don't say it when the clock hits an hour, it's at 46 minutes now. So you have 13 minutes. Use them wisely. It's crazy how, like, in the days leading up to a presidential election, at a time when a virus has killed, what is that, almost 250,000 Americans, you have multiple people like worrying about what I'm wearing and all, and being worried about when I supposedly treated them in some bad manner, but not being able to tell me what I did to them. I'm supposed to take their word for it. This is really at the height of people's priorities. People have rioted after elections, and they do these protests that sometimes get violent. So, yeah, Ruben, I didn't know what you meant by Kayo Ani, and then I looked up. It's an animation studio. Both McConnell and Pelosi are impressive roadblockers. Well, yeah, their whole game is I'm going to not give people what they actually need and then blame the other person for people not getting what they actually need. It'd be a lot more impressed if they weren't so devious. Because McConnell is literally known as the Grim Reaper for blocking things that are passed by Democrats in the House, which is really stupid because if he's confident of the fact that the Republicans are going to, for the most part, vote against it, it's just him coming off as a douchebag. You're doing something unnecessary. Well, if you don't remember what I said, how can you know I was being mean to you? Like, what? Yeah, I heard about it earlier, Dio. Because James Bond was trending on Twitter for like 3 hours. I saw 21,000 posts. People are nuts. Again, I'd rather this than that chick that was trying to act like I didn't know who she was. That kept coming back over and over to say hi. Well, again, his last comment wasn't that bad, James. So we'll see what happens. But you're not saying what I said. No one is asking for word for word. You can give a summary of something without explicitly saying what the person said. If it's not a big deal, why would you? James, I'm coming to your stream to announce that you were mean to me. But don't worry, it's not a big deal. Oh my God. If it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't have mentioned it. I'm going to mention something that doesn't matter. I don't either, Ruben. Really? I keep, okay, if you're going to repeatedly respond to this topic, you realize when you have a conversation, it takes two to tango. So if I've been lingering on it, so have you. I just don't like being accused of things that people can't explain. That's like me saying Ruben did something to me that was very evil, and then I don't tell you what it was. He could have punched me, he could have cursed me out. I'm not even going to explain it. Just let you use your imagination. Time to pay up. No one lives rent free in my head. I mean, hey, Dio, they come to me. I don't search them out. It's all a one sided obsession. Remember, I'm the person who had a guy on Discord who only knew my first name dig on and had never seen what I looked like. So only knew my first name and my voice. Dig on this website until they heard a video of my voice for hours, just digging. So I'm used to creepy stuff from men online, to say the least. Damn, that's crazy. He played on Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. Yeah, there are a lot of actors who are in a bunch of different films, and I just conveniently don't notice the things that they're in. Like they're part of some franchise that I just, by happenstance, haven't seen anything from before. I'm just laughing at your username. I don't really see them using their intelligence. They just say something and hope it sticks. Damn, okay, I didn't get rid of that. It says message deleted by the Google moderator team. I don't know who did that. I didn't disapprove of that message. I've never seen that before. The Google moderator team are like, we're shutting this down. It's like, damn. I might take a screenshot. I'm really surprised. I mean, doesn't everybody that gets paid by YouTube, since Google owns YouTube? That's like accusing me of promoting American products because you wear clothes purchased in America. It's like, yeah, so damn everybody else here. I'm screenshotting that. That's crazy. What high school? I've had like 4 people do that this year. Remember me from high school? Like, no, who are you? Oh, well, that screenshot was taken regardless of your consent. No, that's like the third or fourth person this year that, like, from that school that's like, remember me? Like, no, it was 5 years ago. Why have you now decided to suddenly reappear? I'm gonna do that to somebody in my chat. Ruben, I'm gonna speak to you again in 2025. See ya. Every time you write a comment, I'm just gonna ignore it, and then I'll just now suddenly acknowledge your existence for the first time in half a decade. I really want you to answer that. What about this year has caused you to now suddenly be interested in speaking to me? All of you pretended I didn't exist, which was fine by me, and now like there's this weird resurgence going on. I just want to speak again. Why are you so negative about people trying to say what's up after not seeing you in a few years? It's not exactly a few years. A few years is 2 or 3. This is 5. And again, it's 5 that have been self-imposed by this same group of people who say they are interested in speaking to me. They could have asked for my number. They could have contacted me on when I still used it, Facebook. There were a million different ways to contact me that they chose to not do for years. And now there's this magic interest all of a sudden. That happened to me for a brief period, and then we separated again. Or somebody contacted you after some horrendously long time and was like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah, don't have. I don't want to say the full name, but don't have. That's like a catchphrase for some people. Hell, even there, you could have asked me for my number. I mentioned this on my stream last week. Damn, the Google moderator team really does not like that man. Jesus Christ. I mentioned this last week when from the time I attended school and had a phone, which was in first grade, to when I stopped, which was in my second year of college, there was not a single person who asked me for my phone number that I turned down. So anyone who chose to not speak to me longer than the time we went to school together, it was self-imposed. I agree with James. No, I don't have $12,000 to pull out of my backside and give to a school for 2 years free. And when you're not supported by adults who know the cost of these places but don't care because it's not affecting them, you get screwed. I remember that one guy that came on one of my videos and he was like, "You don't have no college degree. That's part of why you're not going to be able to get with the woman." I'm like, if you really believe someone needs a piece of paper to get some dingbat slash bimbo, whatever the hell, to open her legs, you truly are living in a dream world. Well, I would say that it seems like there's a higher percentage of people who get with someone that don't have it, well, because most people in the U.S. don't have a degree. So it just seems really strange that would be a thing. Yeah, James, you know how my chat is. I get asked. You would think I'm on an interview with Diane Sawyer. They want my whole biography. How old are you? What city do you live in? Tell me what state you're in. What schools did you go to? Who are you friends with? You know how many people don't exchange? No, I'm not that many people. If it doesn't affect me, it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about. I didn't say, okay, so this is what I was talking about when I said people put words in my mouth. You can replay this stream. I said earlier it was fine that you people decided you didn't want to speak to me for half a decade. I didn't complain. I didn't get angry. I didn't do a video going, why aren't those people that were in school with me in 11th grade talking to me anymore? It didn't matter. This only became something of discussion once you guys started to reappear this year out of the blue. Oh, what did they write? Oh, don't get rid of that one. Wait, can I bring it back? I didn't really think that was. Oh, he was talking about you. Never mind. I mean, I personally just refer to people as like sir or some other term I see used in the real world. But whatever. If somebody else wants to say some variation of bro, I don't really have a problem with it. But yeah, there is a concentrated effort to make disagreements more than they appear to be. No, it's fine. I understand he was targeting that at you. It's cool. I'm just saying that caught me off guard because it was deleted before I could see what it was. Like, what happened? But yeah, I've never said people are terrible for not speaking to me. I just don't understand the point in like ignoring someone. Again, I've posed this question before. You've waited 5 years. Why now? I'm not. I'm overthinking a fact, or rather, a series of facts. All right. I already said before, it wasn't negative to not speak to me. It's just strange to me that people would now suddenly be interested in quote unquote reconnecting and speaking again and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, they have all kind of terms go that people just throw around. Okay, how is you forgetting about a lot of people you attended high school with something that should matter or affect me or concern me? If you chose to ignore those people, I don't see where I should go, oh, well, this is something that I'm responsible for. I should bear the burden of. And again, I've never seen someone try to reconnect with another person by calling them first a racial slur and then another profanity laced term. Well, if I'm aware of someone who I claim to have liked, but I make no attempt to try and speak to them for years, and as you just admitted, you forgot about all these people, as in you knew who they were, but you didn't think of them, you are in effect ignoring them for years. And again, I didn't say it was a bad thing. I just said it is something that factually happened. You didn't say anything to me for years, and then there's like this string of you guys who showed up and are like, "Hey, guess who's back?" OnlyFans followers. Ruben, don't start with that website. I almost made a video about, and there's a actress who I used to watch in two different shows when I was younger, who made one of those, and she wants like $30 a month to see her be skimpy, and I never thought of signing up for it because I don't get turned on by pictures. But I just thought it was like somewhat amusing that you go from being in multiple shows where you get paid like a really decent salary to like now I'm gonna take these images of my side. Well, James, remember what I said. If you have a different position than these people, they attack you. Like I don't go around messing with people who still talk to chicks. I think it's a waste of time for the most part, but I'm not going to get upset that somebody else is doing it. It's basically someone accepting the lifestyle of others while having others try to trash that person for living differently than them, or not lifestyle, but decision that's they've made. I'm gonna get caught up in that word after a person who never met me made a video on me and claimed that they had like a window into my soul and knew my lifestyle. I remember what you said last time, James. Nobody cares about getting the woman anymore. Go promote that somewhere else. I'm just imagining him running ads on TV. Now you can say what you want. I mean, I'm fine with it. Because remember, for the last what has it been, 4 years since we did the first romance video, people have been calling me all kind of different terms. So it's only fair that the same venom be spewed back. Like if one of your coworkers has a problem with the video you made in the past, um, if the person is saying threatening things in the video, I think that's relevant. But if they're just espousing an opinion that the career, what is it, the employers may not agree with, then it's just stupid at that point. So I did a video threatening some company. I would say that's something you should show people. But if it's just, oh, this person said this about chicks, and they're critiquing I really just don't see why that is something that should get brought up other than to just be a prick. Again, it's all just slimy stuff. Yeah, we get a lot of the burdens. You got to bear the cross. Every wacky decision somebody makes, that you're somehow at fault for those. Let me see. What did James last say? Oh, I was gonna respond to Go. The reason the chick stuff is twisted is because if I have some broad that comes up and tries talking to me and asks me on a date and I say no, I'll get blamed for that not proceeding, which I think I should, because I'm the one who chose for it not to happen. But then if I go up to a broad and ask her on a date and she says no, it's still my fault. So it's my fault if I say no, and it's also my fault if I say yes, but the other person says no. That's how twisted it was. Yeah, James, again, they just put words in my mouth. I didn't mention anything about a mob. I thought it was strange that people would be content with not seeing or speaking to me for years, and now, oh, let's all reconnect. It's like some virtual high school reunion. This remember the 4 year and the 8 year and the 12 and 16 and 20 year anniversaries. That's what this is, the 5 year anniversary. But remember that I realized, James, like the shirt thing is basically just a soft core version of the "you're ugly" thing, where you're doing a video and you're making points about a topic, and instead of addressing those points, you talk about cosmetic crap that has nothing to do with what the person is actually saying, because you can't address any of the points the person is making because you have no counter argument. No, they're all tied together. It's like a big old knot. I hope they didn't scare Ruben away. The last thing he said was pay pigs. It's crazy how it's all just tied in together. There are so many things that happen with someone's life that small friendships and connections can literally be forgotten. Okay, no one is saying those things don't happen, but if you did forget, you can keep forgetting. Or hell, you could have found my channel and not said anything. I mean, it's really a matter of, it is strange to me that people who were completely content with not saying anything to you year after year are now like, hey, I want to talk to you. Oh, you said something I didn't like? Well, you're a racial slur. You're the A word. Yeah, go. That's the thing. I'm not upset with any of these people for not speaking to me. I just think the act of doing that and then doing a 360 turn out of nowhere is kind of strange, but it is what it is. You were joking when you used the racial slur. James, I think you're the devil. Just kidding. Oh, we scared off Dio. He left. He said, I'm not going to attend this reunion. That should be the new name of this stream, the reunion stream. $25 million votes already. Oh, that's old. Yeah, I have CNN mute in the background, just looking at the stuff that's on the screen. They're a little too goofy for my taste. People like really crazy online, especially if you know that when you write something, I have no way of being able to what's a good way of saying it, know your tone from what you type, because it's written, it's not spoken word. At how you are processing things. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, these are accurate recollections of what has occurred. Oh, I wanted him to explain what he meant by that, because I told you a lot of people, they use these words and they don't articulate what they mean by those words. So that could have meant something nice, like, "Oh man, you're processing things in this way that is so thought provoking," or "You're processing things in this screwed up manner where you're accusing me." It could have been either one. But again, because it's not descriptive, it's not telling me what is actually the point of what he's saying. I do think at a certain point of not, and it's just my opinion, again, nobody has to take it. I think at a certain point, if you don't talk to someone, uh, yeah, it is going in circles. Because I really thought when he said you have been mean to me or whatever, it was going to be a legitimate grievance. Let me get this straight. Because I found your channel and decided to say what's up to someone I haven't seen since high school, I'm responsible for not hitting you up over 5 years. Well, if you're not responsible for not making contact with me for a prolonged period, who is? Fate? God? I mean, let's flip it. If you did a channel and the last time I had spoken to you was 5 years ago, and you've always been online, who would be responsible for not making contact with you? Yeah, I literally explained earlier the way in which I could have been contacted. You could have asked me for my number when we went to school together, uh, and I was on social media prolifically. And you're getting on James's nerves. I see all those hidden comments. He's like, I'm tired of this conversation. It would be an awkward phone call. Not if he had asked at the time it occurred, because remember, we're looking at this from the lens of this enormous gap of time where you didn't say anything. If he had said something to me around the time we stopped going to school together, that would not be a criticism that's being levied at him. And I don't understand what is so wrong with really just my position on it. I'm not going after him. He's not in trouble. It's not illegal to not talk to somebody. It's just an opinion I have that he's like writing paragraphs in response to. Okay, I am not many people, so that has nothing to do with me. Like if I call you a dingbat and I go, "Dude, there are so many people I call a dingbat," you would still get offended because that term was used toward you and you're not so many other people, and the position, or rather the insult, is still being levied at you personally. Hey, James, did you see the Piccolo fights video? Did you like it? I know you're a little busy making sure that certain things are being dealt with in the manner in which they should. I hope you liked it. It's okay to have friends, but deep down they will get you in trouble for. I did a video about that. It was called It was like the title was something to the effect of the more people you know, the worse off you will be. And it was about how it seems like whenever you get around a larger group of people, there's a higher chance for things to go haywire or to run amok or, for your position to be misconstrued. So we're kind of seeing that play out here. Hell, if somebody was upset with me for not contacting them for this period, but also they don't come to me and say this, like I go to them and then they say they're upset because of this, you know, it would just be that they would say that and then it would be over. I wouldn't go back and forth like this. But you gotta understand, I did this to a bunch of other people. You gotta listen to me. I did it to a lot of other people, so it's okay if I do it to you. Imagine if like that was the argument in court, like, oh, this person shot this woman. Oh, I shot 9 other people, so it's okay. Nah, the debates online get so tacky and tedious. I remember I had this one guy who wrote this comment where they were like accusing me of saying some kind of crazy stuff about chicks, and I'm telling you, sometimes when I read those comments and how little they actually say in response to the content of the video or the stream or whatever, it really feels like all they do is take the same comments and stick them on like different videos. Like they don't actually, like, their comment is literally worded in such a way where it doesn't specifically address anything you said. Like first it starts off with them complaining about your physical appearance because apparently that's what straight men do. Then they like give their advice, and you'll be sitting there like, wow, I really just did a 12, 20, 30-minute video with a script, and all this person can talk about is something that has nothing to do with what I say. So that's why my comment section got left out in the dust. Like, unless it's somebody I recognize and like, I don't say anything. It's too much nonsense. Hope all is well. Head out. Just know, man, I wasn't. Just tried to join the stream and say it because I remember you were pretty chill. I mean, whatever that term means. I'm just having so much fun deleting unnecessary messages. Yeah, why do you have to announce you're leaving? Like, I would just go. Imagine, James, if you went to go see, I don't know, what was that, the Joker movie last year, and then as you're coming out of the theater, well, bye everyone, I enjoyed the film. Or you go to Walmart, thanks for the products and the customer service, it was really nice. I don't know why people do that. Now it's the internet has the one thing it's good for. Yeah, I don't even go. I don't even know what that means. Was I pleasant to speak to? And if I was so pleasant, why did it take this long for this person to message me again? And apparently, I wasn't pleasant if the last time they spoke to me before this, I treated them in a mean manner. He got upset that I said bad manner. You know, even though it means the same thing. If you're going to say somebody was mean to you or they treated you in a poor manner, I mean, they're basically synonyms of each other. But yeah, this is really what is so sad that uh, I think a lot of people, when they're typing at their keyboards, don't actually pay attention to the words coming out of the mouth of the person that's doing the stream. I don't have a problem with individuals not speaking to me for years. That's why I don't message them. That's why I don't go on their social media and try to curse them out or put up any of their stuff. I just think it's strange that someone would wait half. And like I said, he's talking about forgetting people he went to school with. He could ask me for my number when we still attended school together. Like I said, I never. That's a whatever. I never turned down giving someone my number if they asked for it. I don't know, James. People write all kinds of stuff on here. Just picture James looking at his keyboard. What? He's like, I'm very perplexed. Now I think Ruben left. He was getting tired of that conversation. He was like, yeah, no, thank you. He saw him a skedaddle. Yeah, I've never had a problem with people, just moving on. I mean, I don't expect to speak to every person I interacted with. I don't like to have the give these people the false impression that I'm content with what was being ignored. Um, there's never been a person who, in my past, I've like sat back because I have sometimes seen posts or met people I haven't seen in years in person, and I don't say unless they say something to me, I don't say anything to them. Because if we were actually friends and friendly, we wouldn't be speaking to each other because you happen to run into me at some store or some other place. You're overthinking. Not really. Yeah, there's a weird tendency with people to make any position that's not their own seem really extreme. And I just don't understand it. And again, this has been the year of like weird stuff. The virus is one thing, but we've had a person that I always mention this in 2 weeks from saying that I'm their favorite, one of their favorite YouTubers, to doing a video accusing me of being homosexual. Uh, there was another person who, along with this person and somebody else, came on my channel, and like I haven't spoken to them in 5 years. The other one in like 3 or 4, like since before the last presidential election. I mean, Jesus, where are they coming from? Because again, I don't do that, and I'm not even like large enough for what's a good way of saying it? Like if I was someone who had 1 million subs, right? Okay, you would hear of that person because of how big they are. When you're not even like that big or big at all, and you have these people who are like, "Hey, I remember you." Like, yeah, no, thank you. Let's leave things the way they were. With neither one of us interacting. It's like people online can do some of the craziest stuff. I remember that person. I'm gonna speak to him or her and talk to them and show up on their stream years later. I charge my phone. That poor thing was being treated so poorly as I kept using it while doing the stream. It's just been a really interesting hour and a half. You've had the shirt gate, the shirt scandal, an issue raised by, what was that, 3 different men. We've had this hour-long reunion. It's all a nice little saga. But anyways, I'm going to this week try to do the Curlin fights video, put it out between Monday and Friday like usual. There was a romance video I was going to do this week, but because it's kind of Halloween themed, I'm not gonna try to force myself to finish that tonight. Yeah, people are really in full effect, and I told you, James, the craziest thing is between the time I was in 6th to 12th grade, people would like insult the way each other looked. But when I got to college, that wasn't something that happened. So I actually thought maybe now people are mature enough to discuss things that are coming out of someone's mouth, the character of a person. And then when I got online, it was like being in 11th and 10th and 12th grade again. And these are comments coming from adults that almost sound exactly like stuff I heard in 7th and 8th grade. Like it's really disturbing. I guess it just shows you're never too old to act ridiculous, which is kind of disturbing because it really makes you question if the maturity of years is actually a thing. But yeah, I'm gonna do that video, and I'll stream on Monday, and I'll put some stuff up, put a video up tomorrow, and then a video drop the rest of the week. So thanks for the high amount of deletions, James, and those who attended that weren't obsessed with my attire. So have a good day, and trick or treat, but not outside because you'll catch a disease that can kill people.